Hey guys, it's Misty over at Valley VW in the V-Dubstore. Just coming on here real quick to give you a heads up. Number one, the C-channel valve cover gaskets are back in stock, and also the 9088s are back in stock, which are the stock neoprene gaskets. But while I've got these up here and I'm just getting them put away, I wanted to go over something real fast. Once again, sometimes people aren't always sure on what valve cover gaskets their valve cover takes. So I'm going to show you a few examples of what takes what, and hopefully this will help. Let's go over 9088, which is your neoprene gaskets, your stock valve cover gaskets first. And don't ask what this guy did to this, you probably figure it out on your own. So your aluminum valve covers that typically look like this, you're going to see have a channel that the valve cover gasket just sits in. Yeah, again, this was a return. This style valve cover is going to take this valve cover gasket. As you see, it fits in there real nice. Sometimes I notice people will order the C-channel valve cover gaskets, which are flat on the back, but there is a lip inside. This lip will not work with this valve cover. As you can see, it sits on there, but it's not locked in anywhere. That's because this valve cover gasket, the C-channel valve cover gasket, is designed for something like these MP valve covers. These do not have that internal seat. As you can see, on the outside, this has a flange. This has no flange. So with these, this is just a flat piece of aluminum in there, and this valve cover gasket sits over that flat piece, and then they mate flat with the cylinder head, making its own seal. So again, stock valve cover gasket has the flange, and it sits inside the lip. C-channel has a groove, and it sits over the lip, or over the edge of the valve cover. I'm going to make it do this on a stock one just because I happen to have it out. So it sits like this, over the lip. There is no shelf here for this valve cover gasket to sit in there. Now, while I'm going over valve cover gaskets really fast, I'm going to go grab a stock set of valve cover gaskets because very many people have a tendency to go for something like these, which I stock, but it's because of other reasons. So I'm going to go over that real fast. Hang on. All right. So these are stock L-ring valve cover gaskets. A lot of people are always online complaining because they buy valve cover gaskets, which aren't really expensive, so it's hard to tell by price which one you're buying. That's why buying from a shop like myself, where I know my product and I'm stocking it and I have it in my hands, I can usually make sure that you're getting a better one. So number one is the thickness. When people have stock valve cover gaskets and they are not thick enough, they do not fill up this corner, or they do not fill up this void enough, and so when they put them down and they lock the bales down, they have a tendency to leak. We all know the tricks of holding them in. And then second of all, I buy L-ring. I've also bought Victor Rain. I'm just a L-ring kind of girl, maybe because it matches my red hair. But second of all, if you have a new valve cover gasket, it should fold in half without creasing or damaging the gasket at all. As you can see, this is folded real nice. I could squish it. It's not trying to break the gasket. I have seen so many of the valve cover gaskets out there that don't have enough of the rubber material in here, and it's like all cork and they're real stiff. When you have something that's real stiff like that, it won't allow the crush to properly happen, and it can cause the valve cover gasket to leak. So these are real good valve covers, and I really like them. I sell them in both a bolt-on and a bail. But what's nice about these valve covers is they're nice and thick, and they get that like nice crush surface to it. And when you are putting your valve cover gaskets in, it should want to sit nice in all your corners. I have many times in the years past seen valve cover gaskets, and as you can see, even in this corner, the edge is right there to the edge of the gasket. The gasket holds over just by a lip. But I've also seen a lot of valve covers in the years past that these bottom corners, this lip is real narrow here. And when that lip gets really narrow, it does not want to hold the gasket in here. So when this crushes down against the head, this is weak because there's nothing behind it. So if you have older valve covers, or if you bought a pair of valve covers and you put your gasket in there, and your gasket's not really backed and supported by this flange, I do not suggest to use them. Reason being, this can easily get out of place and then you just start dumping oil. So if you're trying to figure out what you need or what valve covers you want to get, so on and so forth, if you're not sure what gaskets to get, number one, the cork gaskets on my website are the same cork gaskets I'm showing you right now. They're the only ones I stock. If you get the neoprene, just make sure that for a stock valve cover that you're not getting the one that says C channel. C channel is for the performance valve covers. And again, these are your 9088, which are your stock valve cover gaskets. One more thing. If you look, these and the valve cover and the stock valve cover gasket, the stock one's actually a little bit thicker. And I'm always a fan of stock ones. So I hope this helps. Coming at you with a few videos this week. Just happen to have a few minutes and a few seconds trying to help people get things going. If you have any problems, have any questions, just reach out to me. Again, we have our texting app. It's always welcomed for anyone to send us a message over there. Remember, if you have any problems or have any questions and you need help with something, you can send a message to our text line. You can also give me a call Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, that's right. I'm on the East Coast, not the West. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. And please don't forget to like, comment, and share so that way you get up to date on all the neat tricks and tips that I've been posting up.